www.investvoyager.com or under our profile at www.cedar.com are incorrect. The company has made assumptions that no significant events occur outside of the company's normal course of business and that current trends in adoption of crypto assets continue. Listeners are cautioned that assets under management, revenues, and trading volumes fluctuate and may increase and decrease from time to time, and that such fluctuations are beyond the company's control. We do not undertake any duty to update any forward-looking statements except where required by law. Today's release also includes references to non-IFRS financial measures. You should refer to the information contained in the disclosures found in today's release, including definitional information and reconciliations of historical non-IFRS measures to the comparable IFRS financial measures. This call will touch on some guidance provided in our earnings press release issued today. I would encourage each of you to review the forward-looking statement, risk factor disclosure, and similar disclosure in today's press release. Please note the dollar amounts referenced are in U.S. dollars unless otherwise noted. With that, let me turn the call over to Steve Ehrlich, Voyager's co-founder and CEO.
Thanks, Mike, and good morning, everyone. As we report our fiscal year end, I want to summarize Voyager's significant accomplishments, competitive positioning, and growth opportunities as one of the largest and fastest growing crypto companies in the world, with over $6 billion of assets under management and more than 2.4 million users. Our record revenue of $175 million for the fiscal year, which produced adjusted EBITDA of $63 million, highlighted the revenue and related long-term earnings potential of our platform as we continue to scale our user base. Additionally, as of June 30th, 2021, we had $207 million of adjusted working capital on our balance sheet. Adjusted working capital is the net of all cash, crypto held at custodians, crypto lent to third parties, and held at exchanges, less what we owe our customers. We have the most experienced management team with significant financial services and capital markets expertise, guiding the company to take advantage of market opportunities while being regulatory compliant in the jurisdictions we operate. We recently completed our uplisting to the Toronto Stock Exchange, and the clearing of our base shelf prospectus by the Ontario Securities Commission is another positive evolution and testimony to the strong fundamental position of our company. In fiscal 2021, we saw tremendous demand for our platform. We took advantage of significant opportunities presented to us, and in fiscal year 2022, we'll look to aggressively grow our user base by expanding our marketing programs, expanding internationally, and by delivering additional products and services on the Voyager platform with a mission to become the leading provider of crypto-based services to individual customers. We've recently seen the launch of the first Bitcoin futures ETF, BITO, spur an all-time high for Bitcoin reaching 66,900. BITO is the first investment product approved by the SEC linked to the crypto assets and is traded on the New York Stock Exchange. As new ways to access the crypto markets enhance mainstream adoption, the market size of crypto is expected to continue to expand. With crypto adoption still in its infancy, Voyager is focused on growing customers as we build out our ecosystem. The company earns its revenue through various revenue streams, including trading revenue, yield programs, which include both lending and staking, and blockchain transactions. We recently began to significantly diversify our revenues by adding staking to our already robust trading and lending revenue. For those who aren't familiar with what staking is, cryptocurrencies are built on two major concepts: proof of work and proof of stake. More people are familiar with proof of work as that's the Bitcoin protocol that entails mining. Proof of stake is used by many of the other coins and protocols listed on the Voyager platform. In a proof of stake, coins are staked using validation nodes that act as the source for appending transactions and approving new transactions to the blockchain. By staking your coins, you can earn rewards that run as high as 20% annually. We have found that staking revenue is a very good customer acquisition, retention, and engagement tool that drives increased stickiness on the Voyager platform. As crypto staking is not easy to do on your own, typical staking reward programs often force customers to lock up their coins on a longer-term basis to receive a certain level of rewards. At Voyager, the process is seamless and typically does not require customers to lock up their coins. Just by holding your coins with Voyager, you can obtain staking rewards and trade your coins at any time. As previously announced, the September 30th quarter encompassed a significantly industry-wide slowdown, and Voyager was no exception. However, as we compare our metrics to those of our competitors, Voyager outperformed a key public company competitor in this quarter. We elected in the quarter to focus on our account growth during this period as well, as we believe it is the most important long-term metric and strategy. As a result, Voyager incurred significant expense to sustain our robust account growth. This past month, though, we have seen volume significantly rebound. The current quarter could achieve record revenue, that's starting in October, validating our strategy to focus on account growth. We expect to continue to invest heavily into marketing, product development, and security. As we add more products to the Voyager platform, such as crypto-backed debit cards, credit cards, decentralized finance, and non-fungible tokens, commonly referred to as NFTs, we will be adding new revenue streams, increasing engagement and growing customer lifetime value. I want to turn our attention to some recent news and give investors a picture on where we are focused and headed on our marketing and customer growth. When Pam Kramer joined as Chief Marketing Officer in the spring, we stated that there would be a ramp up into being more aggressive on the marketing front, and we would use all our available capabilities to grow accounts. In July, we began ramping up our marketing presence through many digital programs, but also decided to utilize our very popular loyalty and rewards program as an incentive to grow our accounts. Although the cost to acquire accounts has increased for many reasons, the digital marketing program has been very effective as we continue to be one of the most downloaded financial apps in the Apple Store and Google Play Store, and a top 55 app overall as recently as this morning. We also announced an ambassador relationship with NFL superstar Rob Gronkowski and a NASCAR partnership with driver Landon Castle, both of which have been very successful in building brand identity and presence with new audiences. Recently, we entered into a long-term sponsorship with one of the most innovative NBA teams, the Dallas Mavericks, owned by crypto enthusiast Mark Cuban. The Dallas Mavericks relationship is extremely exciting to Voyager as we couple the NBA with esports, as Voyager also becomes the naming rights partner of the Mavs Gaming Center, which has been home to many esports programs, including the last NBA 2K championship. We are actively engaged in building more marketing partnerships and sponsorships and look forward to announcing more in the near future as we look to optimize of a combination of digital strategy and performance, brand building sponsorships, and our loyalty rewards program. Voyager has a really unique loyalty rewards program that allows our customers to earn rewards on their trading activity, as well as rewards on up to 35 tokens just for holding their coins with Voyager. The core of the program is its utilization of the Voyager token as a marketing tool to deliver value to customers. The company has close to 40 million tokens to use as marketing to support this loyalty program. As we saw the market slow down in the summer months, we used this rewards program as a way to engage new and existing customers, investing back to maintain our position as a leading crypto platform. With the recent hire of Rakesh Gidwani as CTO, Voyager is well positioned to grow our technology team to expand our platform and continue to bring new market-leading products to market, as we have seen some major companies try to mimic what Voyager has accomplished. In early 2022, we expect to deliver an enhanced loyalty rewards program and a crypto-backed debit card. Additionally, we will be active in adding new coins to our platform, focusing on those we think will be the next hottest coins in the market. I would like to switch our attention to mergers and acquisitions. In 3 short years, we have completed 4 acquisitions, most recently the acquisition of Coinify, a crypto payments processor. Coinify puts Voyager crypto payments category with 2 distinct revenue streams. First is the fiat on and off ramps for custodial wallets and exchanges where customers want to self-custody their keys. Second is the integration directly with merchants and into payment service provider systems. Coinify has already embedded thousands of merchants, and we will aggressively grow the PSP revenue stream. Coinify will be the backbone also for our launch in Europe. We will continue to look for acquisition opportunities where the management team fits the Voyager culture, has revenue, integrates into Voyager, and can help geographic expansion, product, and/or team expansion. Now on the regulatory front, we've seen quite a bit of news around crypto. as we all know, Voyager operates at a fast pace, is subject to significant regulation, and perhaps more important, regulatory uncertainty. Voyager strives for overall compliance and has a team of legal and compliance professionals and outside advisors working hard to help us operate within the rules as they exist today. One thing I would like to note, since I've been in the capital markets for over 25 years, is I have seen times where rules get clarified or amended once significant growth happens. If any of you remember the early days of day trading, there were no account minimums needed to day trade. The SEC examined this, and although there were initial thoughts about day trading being curtailed, the pattern day trading rules were formed, and day trading began to flourish with a concrete rule structure and it's core to the markets today. The reason why I bring up day trading is I think there is a correlation between day trading and what we are seeing in the evolution of cryptocurrency regulation. We believe that thoughtful regulation will occur in the cryptocurrency space and that regulation will spur adoption and growth for businesses just like Voyager. Lastly, just yesterday, we announced a strategic investment from Alameda Research, one of the world's largest market makers and a clear pioneer in the crypto industry. There are significant opportunities for us to work together, including execution of order flow, asset management, NFTs, and working with regulators. The investment was at a 14-day average price through October 26th of USD 971, which amounted to 7,723,996 shares. There is also a one-year lockup on the shares. We believe that blockchain technology and digital assets are the future of financial services, and that being a fully transparent public company with a focus on the retail consumer separates us from the competition. Our native token and related rewards program support a loyal user community drawn to our no-commission, safe and secure personal crypto finance platform. With that, I'll turn the call over to Evan to review the annual and quarterly financial results in more detail.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you all for joining us today. As a reminder, all figures discussed on today's call are in US dollars under IFRS. I will speak to our fiscal 2021 fourth quarter, as well as full fiscal year end June 30th, 2021. In our fiscal year 2021, the industry saw a significant increase in trading volumes across all the major exchanges. When comparing the last 6 months of the fiscal year to the first 6 months, industry volumes increased 6 times. Voyager made an even bigger jump, however, as the company increased trading volumes by nearly 24 times during the same period, nearly 4 times more than the industry average. With this acceleration in our volume, we scaled our business to $175 million in total revenue, from just $1 million the prior year. We grew verified users to 1.7 million from 86,000 in the prior year, and funded accounts to 665,000 from 23,000 in the prior year. Our AUM, despite a market pullback in the summer, was $2.6 billion on June 30th, 2021, versus $35 million on June 30th, 2020. For the fourth quarter, we grew total revenue by more than 80% to $109 million, with transaction fees accounting for 89% of total revenue. The increase in transaction fees was driven by increased volume of $8.2 billion compared to $5 billion in the prior quarter, as well as an increase in average spread to 113 basis points from 107 basis points. Bitcoin and Ethereum spread revenue accounted for only 11% of the total spread revenue, as alternative coins continued an even greater dominance on our volume from the prior quarter. Fees from crypto assets loaned in the fourth quarter increased to $12.4 million compared to $6.7 million from the prior quarter. During the fourth quarter, the company started to engage with new high-quality borrowers to accommodate additional loan capacity. We started to see the benefit of these new lending relationships at the end of our September quarter and expect these relationships to continue to grow. Additionally, as our partnership with Blockdaemon occurred late in the fiscal year, staking rewards were not significant to our top line, but we expect a more meaningful impact beginning in the first quarter of fiscal 2022. We believe that at current AUM levels, Voyager should be able to achieve consistent revenues of $40 to $50 million per quarter starting in the December quarter, which is incremental to transaction revenue. Turning to expenses, total operating expenses for the fourth quarter increased 153% from the third quarter, resulting in adjusted EBITDA margin of approximately 20%. The increase in operating expenses was due to a more than $30 million increase in crypto rewards paid to customers, as well as a $4 million increase in marketing expenses. As we look to future quarters in fiscal 2022, we expect to increase our marketing spend as well as our reward offerings as we look to prioritize accelerating growth in funded accounts and deposits. Lastly, on liquidity, we ended the year in a strong overall liquidity position with $207 million of adjusted working capital, including $193 million in cash and cash equivalents. This concludes our prepared remarks. With that, I will now turn it over to our operator, who will open the line for questions.
At this time, if you would like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your touch-tone phone. You may remove yourself from the queue at any time by pressing the pound key. Once again, that is star and 1 to ask a question. And we will take our first question from Joe Gomes with Noble Capital.
Good morning.
Morning, Joe.
So I was wondering, talk a little bit more on the Aldema. Just if you could give us a little more color, who approached who here, what are the real benefits that you see to Voyager from this partnership, so to speak, with them?
Yeah, so, thanks for the call. Thanks for being with us in the morning here. We usually do these in the afternoon, but I appreciate everyone jumping on in the morning. Alameda is a great partner. They are, one of the crypto pioneers, if not the crypto pioneer, led by Sam Bankman-Fried. And, with them, there are a lot of things that we're going to do with them. Just as I mentioned, the tip of the iceberg is them helping us manage the assets, the customer assets, as we've now grown to over $6 billion of customer assets. Having a professional help us on that as well is really important. Same thing from an execution perspective. As we continue to grow and we do more and more volume, having more deeper integrated partners that we can send order flow to is very helpful. But then, on the NFT front, they understand the NFT space. They've helped build out the Solana network and the old, what they used to call SolSea NFT network. And NFTs are core to what we want to bring to the market, in 2022, and having some more assistance as we grow out our own teams to do that is really important for us. So it's a great partner, one that is extremely well respected in the space in crypto, and it was a good opportunity for us to get some assistance as we want to grow into different areas.
Okay, thanks for that. And we've seen the price increase, obviously, of a lot of the coins, especially Bitcoin, hitting new highs here recently. But volumes haven't increased to the levels that they were back in, let's say, in May. And it's just trying to get your viewpoint as to why you don't think that volumes have increased back to where they were when we had a similar situation occurring last May.
Yeah, I think the summer months were quite slow. Especially July and August were very slow months. Picked up in September, but we can't say that about October. October has been quite active for us. We've seen tremendous account growth. I think tremendous volume coming through our platform, and I think some of the things we've, from our perspective, I think we're gaining market share on people. Just look at the App Store this morning. I looked at it before we got on this call, and we were 55th of all apps in the U.S. on the Apple Store. It was the closest we've ever been to that company called Hood. That was 54. we've never been one behind them. So we're gaining market share with the coins we have, with the ease of use and on the platform and how intuitive it is. I can open an account in 3 minutes or less. We're gaining market share, and the things that we've done, like the Mavs deal, has really put us. We always told investors that we were going to make more of an investment into marketing and do some more brand investment, but we're doing it. There's more to come. We're working on other things, and we're getting that brand out there, which is growing us. So, maybe the market's a little bit less, but we're gaining market share on people, as we just see that with our App Store rankings. And same thing's happening on the Google Play Store. We're gaining market share on people. So even if the market's coming down, and I think it's starting to pick up again when I look at the market volumes, there's a lot of interest in crypto again, we're gaining market share.
Great, and if I could sneak in one more. So you mentioned a little bit here, on the Dallas Mavericks collaboration, and Mark Cuban tweeted, giving $100 of Bitcoin for anyone who downloaded your app. And I was just wondering, you're saying you're at 55 on the downloads today. I mean, how much have you actually, seen interest since his tweet? That seems like a great way to start off the relationship.
Mark's a great guy. We had a great press conference the other day, and such a great crypto advocate. And to answer your question is that we weren't even in the top 200 before that, from all apps in the App Store prior to that press conference. Now we're 55. So I think we could make some judgment that it's really helped. Mark,
great,
really
thanks for that. Let someone else ask some questions, and I'll get back in the queue.
Thank you. Thanks, Joe.
We'll go next to Mark Palmer with BTIG.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, and thanks very much for taking my questions. With regard to the NFT initiative, could you give us a sense of what that could look like? Is this going to be a marketplace? Is it going to be that straightforward? Or are there other aspects to that initiative that would be involved?
Yeah, morning, Mark. Thanks for joining. Our initiative, we set ourselves out to be an agency platform where we're trying to find the best of breed for our customers, and that's how we're going to take the approach with NFTs. We want to make NFTs on multiple platforms accessible to our customers. May we build a little bit of our own NFTs? Sure. We have some ideas. We have some great relationships with Gronk and with Landon and NASCAR that we could build some of our own NFTs, but we want to be truly the agent that tries to find, and open up the world to more people with various NFTs and NFT marketplaces. That's our goal.
Very good. And could you provide an update on where things stand with regard to approvals for geographic expansion, Canada, New York, and just to clarify, are you fully capable of expanding into Europe right now with no restrictions from a regulatory standpoint?
So work on Canada first. We're in the process with the Ontario Securities Commission, still waiting on that exemptive relief. We believe it's coming soon. We did have a base shelf perspective, so that we think we're right on the verge of getting that exemption. New York is New York. There's really not much more I could say. I think they haven't given out a bit license still in almost 2.5, 3 years now. I don't know what else to say anymore. I sound like a broken record, and I hate answering that question just because I really have nothing new to say except for we're in the process. In Europe, the AMF in France gave us our license as fit and proper to operate. That allows us to solicit within France and other countries that are less stringent on crypto. There are some countries that we could unsolicit, take customers through Europe, and then file much slimmed down regulatory filings because we're overseen by the AMF, which is considered one of the best regulators in Europe. So we're ready to go there. We're pushing to be there by the end of March, as we said in a recent press release.
And if I could just ask one more, what is your thinking with regard to potential timing on listing in New York, in the U.S., and what that process would entail?
Yeah, we'll have more to share on that in probably the next call, after the September quarter when we do that. We're working towards it. That's our goal. We've said that all along. That's our goal. And getting the base shelf prospectus cleared was definitely a hurdle for us. And we'll probably have more to share in about 2 weeks.
Very good. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Adhir Kadveed with 8 Capital.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for taking my questions here. So I wanted to talk on the user acquisition front. Obviously, really good growth, 2.15 million users, 860K funded accounts. I wanted to talk about, your conversion from your, users to funded accounts funded accounts to users is kind of growing. Can you maybe talk about what sort of marketing efforts you guys have targeted towards that specific group as opposed to like a broader group and how that's kind of different a little bit?
Yeah, well, thanks, Adhir. I appreciate you being on this morning. Good question in the fact that I'd love to tell you exactly how our key has always been to get the users in the platform, get their information. And we get a certain segment of those that will always go right through the funnel immediately. But we've made it a priority of ours to, once we get the info, to get them down funnel when they don't do it immediately. We have some tools in our arsenal that we use, but I really don't want to share them because then somebody will copy me. But we have some tools and techniques that we use to get people down funnel to do that. But we've been effective. We've made it a priority, and I think that was one of the keys, in the slower summer months, is moving people down that funnel. We had access to customers because they actually had interest in the platform. So how did we convert at a higher rate? And that's one of the goals. We're always trying to convert, and increase those funnel metrics.
Okay, no, totally fair. And then maybe asking a question on the broader user acquisition front. Then, it seems as though you guys are really targeting sports as a source of marketing. With with NASCAR, the Mavs, Landon Castle. Can you talk there? Will sports continue to take the lion's share of the marketing dollars, or do you guys kind of look to expand into like other areas of call it pop culture and stuff like that?
Yeah, we recently hired Erica Schakowsky, and Erica was with Pam and I at E-Trade, and Erica did a lot of the brand building, and so as well. And so we're going to expand into other areas. Sports was the first place we wanted to attack. We want to do it differently than what we saw others do it in a probably more cost-effective manner. And because we believe everything we do, we have to have that form of activation when we go, and if it's sports or pop culture, we're moving towards that pop culture as well. Everything's got to have activation, and I don't know if you guys noticed last night, we gave away $100,000 when someone hit a half-court shot at the Mavs game. Voyager was everywhere. It's all over social media today. So we try to activate stuff to make sure we're getting the best value for our dollars, because that's what investors want. And so we will enter other spaces as we find the right opportunities for us to really grow the brand and build activations.
Great. Appreciate all the color, guys. Thank you very much. I'll pass the line.
Thanks.
We'll go next to George Sutton with Craig-Hallum.
Thank you. Steve, I listened to the June quarter fiscal year end and feel like I'm getting a summary of a Yellowstone season 1 when we're starting Yellowstone season 4. So and that's credit to all of the major things you're involved in right now. So I wondered if you could break down some of what you're working on in terms of near, mid, and longer term opportunities, because there's a lot thrown out and not a lot of clarity in terms of when we'll start to see some of these items.
Yeah, and George, thanks for attending. I appreciate you being here this morning. The near-term stuff for us is absolutely the debit card, the card in early 2022, as well as being in international in 2022. The other projects, NFTs, some of the things we're working on, DeFi, credit, they're all being scoped out. They're all being worked on from business programs and business analysts looking at, and the best way for us to do that. but the most immediate stuff is the debit and international. We're really excited about the credit side because consumers are starting to want to borrow. With the significant assets we have, they're going to want to borrow against some of those assets with us. So we're looking hard at the credit side, whether it's lending, whether it's credit cards or just collateralized loans. But those are longer-term projects. For us, the immediate is the debit, crypto-backed debit and international.
Great. You mentioned your COO and CTO hires. I've rarely seen a company, if ever, grow this fast. And I'm just curious if you could give us a sense of where you feel you are from a people perspective, being able to accomplish some of these initiatives.
We're growing aggressively. We're looking to hire more developers, more product managers, obviously more marketing, more service. Our goal is to double our size, over the next 6 to 9 months. We're trying to grow fast. But trying to keep the culture the same way too, which is a very inclusive culture that we have. So we're trying to double the staff over the next 6 to 9 months, and we're being aggressive trying to get there. So that's our goal.
Lastly, for me, can you just break down for us Bitcoin and Ethereum versus the altcoins, just the mix that you're seeing and the spread you're seeing as a result? Thanks.
Yeah, Bitcoin and Ethereum wind up being somewhere around 10%, 10 or 11% of our overall revenue, and the rest is all the altcoins that we have. And we've always set out with the goal to be the place to make altcoin trading easy, and we've accomplished that. We've obviously seen a rise in the last few weeks of quite a few of the different altcoins. I know there's a focus on some of the ones that are related to dogs. But there's a rise in a lot of other coins that we've seen, things like Luna. And so 90% of our revenue is generated from the altcoins.
Thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
We'll go to Safi with Singular Research.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, Chris.
I just had a question. Hi, Steve. Just had a question on for the fourth quarter. What was the cost per account acquisition, and how did that relate to other quarters? And going forward, what do you see that cost being?
We'll have to get back to you. Evan, do you have that? Sorry, Evan, do you have that information?
Yeah, I have it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do. So cost of per new funded account was around $20 for the fourth quarter. We benefited tremendously from volumes in April and May, and I think as the market has gotten more competitive over the summer and in recent times, we're seeing that cost rise substantially. But we'll have more color on where we are today in our next call.
And then as far as do you have the number on as the revenue per account?
Yeah, the revenue per funded account is around $55 for the fourth quarter.
Okay. All right. Great. Thanks.
Thanks, Chris.
We'll go next to Kevin D.D. with HCW.
Good morning, Steve. Thanks for holding the call and thanks for having me.
Thanks, Kev.
Hey, so could you talk a little bit about where you're going to take the PSP platform? I mean, you talked about that. You talked about your initiatives for next year, but not so much on that integration, not so much on the lottery.com deal. So maybe give us some insight on that.
Yeah, Coinify, which will be rebranded under a Voyager name at some point, is already working with our ACH provider, UCO, based out of San Antonio, to embed the Coinify system as a payment merchant into that, to add to their merchants. There's about 4 or 5 others that they're working on integrating into as well. It's because there's 2 parts of that, the PSPs. One is go straight to the systems and embed there, and we're working on, I think, 4 or 5 of them at this point in time. And UCO is the most public of it that we've actually publicly announced their name. And we also work to embedding into merchants. directly to merchants. Like with the Mavs, we will work towards embedding straight into the merchant into their site, so consumers can pay with whether it's Bitcoin, Doge, Voyager token. It doesn't really matter. They'll be able to do that. So those are coming. They're a little bit longer when you start working on those integrations. They're not as fast as we would like, but we've got 4 or 5 on the PSP that are being worked on right now.
Okay, so Evan's talking about 40 to 50 million in staking revenue through this quarter. And I'm just kind of curious about how you're going to balance, locking those coins up versus the demand you have across the platform, how the Alameda guys are going to help you manage that staking process, who's in possession of the nodes, those kind of elementary items in that business line.
Yeah, and so that 40 to 50 is for the December quarter. That's our secret sauce, is how we manage and the lockups versus the staking versus even lending. Like what are the amount we lock up of customer assets to still give them the ability, the consumers, to trade? Because that's one of the problems with staking that I'm not sure people understand, is that many places when you personally stake your coins, you have to hold them there for 3, 7, 30, sometimes 180 days. So we make it easy, all based on our secret sauce, how we built our algorithms, how we do that. And some of the nodes we run, some of the nodes we use block gaming, some of them we use parties like Alameda, and we will use people like that, so we can actually bring value back to our consumers to allow them to take part in something that's not the easiest thing for them to do personally. We're making it easy for consumers. So we have multiple ways to do it. That's all part of our secret sauce. How we execute, how we custody, how we stake, how we lend is a complex, and it gives us this leadership position in crypto because of everything we do and how we put that together. All is because we think of things from a customer perspective. Like, how are we going to make this world easy for customers? They don't know customers don't know how the internet works today, still 20-something years after the internet. Don't know how it works, but they use it. We want them to use the system and make it easy. That's why we look at the NFTs as how do we bring that marketplace, whether it's on Solana, Algorand, Avalanche, Ethereum, how do we bring that to consumers to make it easy for them to access? That's how we do it on the staking as well.
Right. So do you imagine the time comes to report the December quarter, you'll show that as a separate line item in revenue?
I think we're just going to, I'm not sure how we have to do it. Might be all grouped with lending and staking. We're not sure. We're working with our auditors on that one.
All right. Thanks, Steve. Back to you.
Thanks, Kevin.
As a reminder, that is star 1 to ask a question. And we'll take our next question from Chris Allen with Compass Point.
Morning, guys. Thanks for taking my question. I just want to follow up on the Alameda relationship. One, just in terms of helping them manage the customer assets, are they one of the new high-quality borrowers you referred to that's going to kick in at the end of the September quarter? And then 2, on the execution perspective, can you give us some color how this benefits you from a revenue perspective?
So the first question on Alameda with lending, we do a little bit with them. They're helping us with staking, so they are a high-quality borrower. So we've expanded our relationship to them as well, and they're going to help us, with other parts of that asset management like staking. So that's big there. And do you mind repeating the second question? I'm sorry, Chris.
Yeah, just on the execution perspective with Alameda, you said the kind of order flow in the press release. Just wondering, how you guys, how that benefits you from a revenue perspective.
Yeah. So as our pool of coins keep increasing, as the volume increases, we work with exchanges and market makers, and they're now another market maker that we can send volume to, and based upon the bid ask that they give us, we get more depth of market and the number of the depths at different prices. We get all this all the value of a lot of market makers, and they're now another big market maker that's within our wheel, and looking at the bid-ask spread so we can determine where to send the order flow to.
Got it. And then just on the international opportunity in Europe, can you give us any numbers in terms of how to quantify the opportunity for you?
Well, the size of the market is substantial. And so we think that, we haven't spec'd out exactly to give you guys some idea on what that revenue will be and what to expect. Because again, I think we're going to go in and we're going to start hard in France because that's where the regulator is, and that's what we promised them as well. And then we're going to continue to expand throughout Europe. But we know it's substantial. We have a substantial waiting list too of people who are excited for the product, and there's a lot of people who hold the Voyager token throughout Europe that want to put it on our platform and start using the benefits of all our rewards programs to do that. So can't give you any color yet on the revenue side of what we think, but we know population-wise it's quite substantial and it's growing, and crypto is growing in Europe, and we'd be, probably one of the, if not the leading agency platform there.
Thanks. We'll get back to the queue.
There are no further questions at this time.
Well, thank you, everyone, for taking your time. I appreciate you spending a little of your day with us here, and look forward to our next call at the end of our first fiscal quarter, that will happen in November. Look out for the details. So thank you again, and have a great day.